Hey, it's good to see you today. Welcome to Barlow BBQ. We've got the pit barrel cooker fired up so we can smoke a chuck roast. Now, we haven't done a chuck roast yet on the pit barrel, so we're going to keep this cook really simple. We're just going to hit it with some rub and smoke it until it hits an internal temp of about 200 degrees. And hopefully at that point, it's going to be tender enough to shred. So if you'd like to see how this all turns out, stay tuned. Let's get started. Okay, we got the pit barrel fired up. We've got the chuck roast right here, so let's get that ready to go. This is what we're using today. It's about 2 pounds. And all we're going to do to get it ready for the pit barrel is throw on some rub. Now for this video, we're going to keep it real simple. We're just going to use some Montreal steak seasoning. But you go ahead and use whatever kind of rub or seasoning is your favorite. It's up to you. We're going to use this Montreal steak seasoning on both sides of this chuck roast. And that's it. This is ready to go on the pit barrel. I'm going to use a grill grate today as opposed to hanging this chuck roast. I think it's just going to be a little easier that way. And I forgot to mention, I am using a chunk of mesquite and a chunk of hickory wood for the smoke today. I'll get the rebars back in and get this closed up, and we're just going to let this smoke for a couple hours. We'll come back and check it out and see how it's doing. All right, folks, the chuck roast has been smoking now for 3 hours. And I want to check it out. And listen, I do want to apologize for the audio if it's messed up. It's pretty windy here today in western North Carolina, so I hope y'all don't mind just bearing with it for a little bit. I've got a handy dandy digital thermometer right here. I'm going to also check the temperatures of the chuck roast and see how far along we are on the cook. Let's go check it out. All right, this is looking pretty good for a couple hours in. Let's check temp. Middle is about 145 there, 146. Let's check another spot here. All right, we got 140. That's doing all right. Let's check the edge here as well. And okay, that's a little hotter there, 153. So let's go ahead. We got the rebars back in. Let's close her up and give it another couple hours. All right, folks, we've been smoking for a total of 5 hours, and you know what? It's gonna get dark here soon, so I'd like to wrap up this cook before we lose light. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the chuck roast off the pit barrel. We're gonna wrap that in some foil and put it back on, and hopefully we'll be able to wrap it up. No pun intended. This is looking beautiful, and you know what? Just out of curiosity, I'm going to go ahead and check temperature and see how it's doing. Looking pretty good, 162. Ooh, the edges are definitely a bit hotter, 184. So this in the middle here has a little bit to go yet. I don't know. Maybe we don't need to wrap it. You know what, folks? I think we're just going to leave it alone. Now that I've checked the temperature, I don't know. I don't think we need to wrap. Now, I know you noticed that I didn't close the lid all the way, but that's okay. I did that on purpose. I want to leave just a little gap there because that's going to increase the airflow in the pit barrel and make things a lot hotter. We're getting close to the point where this is going to be done, but I just want to ensure that we're going to get this cook done before we lose daylight. That's why I cracked the lid a little bit, get things hotter, and that should push us through in time. So I'm going to check back on this in maybe another 30 minutes, and we'll see how it's looking. Well, folks, we've been smoking for a total of 5 hours and 45 minutes, and sunset is quickly approaching. So we're hoping this chuck roast is about wrapped up for the day. But first, before we check out the chuck roast, we want to say cheers to you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Cheers to us. And we're enjoying a fine single malt scotch this evening with our barbecue. Some Old Pulteney.
It's delicious.
Robust yet smooth with a delicious hint of sea air. Let's check out that chuck roast. I'm telling you, the camera really just does not do this chuck roast justice right now. It looks absolutely incredible. Let's check for tenderness. We're going to use this digital thermometer I've got and see how it's feeling. All right there in the middle, 205, 206. See how this chunk. So this one might be, we got 196 there. Edges. This is feeling really good. We might have a little resistance here in the middle, but for the most part, I think we can pull this and we're going to be able to shred this up no problem. All right, here's our moment of truth. Let's see how this chuck roast pulls apart. Oh, okay, it's giving me some resistance. Not shredding too easily, folks. I'm a little surprised about this. But I tell you, it does have a really nice smoke ring. All right, we've got some more shredded up here, so let's just give it a try. Well, you ready to try this?
Yep, but first we need to cleanse our palates.
Oh, that's right. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
All righty, got a little bite of the chuck roast right here.
Ready.
Let's go for it. All right, Martha, what did you think of that chuck roast?
I thought that chuck roast was great. It had
Yep.
a nice bite to it, a good
Yep.
bark,
It was nice and tender.
nice smoke flavor to it.
Yep, a blend of mesquite and pecan wood. That was really good. I will say, though, I think it would have benefited if we did wrap it earlier like we were planning on. I think it just was a little bit on the dry side.
But I do think you might have given up some of that great bark.
Yeah,
so,
the bark was excellent. Bark was excellent. And we're going to go
either
ahead.
way, we're winners.
We're going to put this, we're going to use this and make some sandwiches with it, so it's going to be all good. We'll have a recipe for everything right down below in the description box. You guys go ahead, try wrapping it if you want. Whatever way you decide to do it, chuck roast on the pit barrel cooker, I think is worth trying out, y'all. So,
Delicious.
yep, with that said, thanks a lot for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. We love you. And until next time, smoke 'em if you got 'em.
That's right.
Bye-bye.